Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Experience podcast, inside the business, buzz, and brilliance of Black entrepreneurs. Here is your host, Dr. Frances Richards.
This is a bonus episode.
Thank you for joining us as we elevate the Black entrepreneur experience by interviewing CEOs, thought leaders, innovative thinkers, and Black entrepreneurs across the globe. I'm your host, Dr. Frances Richards. Our next guest is founder of a Black technology company, CanYouFitMeIn.com, a Black beauty app for beauty industry. Welcome, Bakari Finley.
Hi, thank you, Dr. Richards. It's a pleasure to be here.
I've given our audience such a brief bio. Why don't you fill in the gaps and share with our audience what you'd like them to know about you and your company?
Excellent. Well, my company is called CanYouFitMeIn.com. It's a Black beauty app. Well, I'm not going to say it's a Black beauty app. It's a manufacturing app for the Black beauty industry. Conceptually, it's built around a concept of a lot of issues that go along in the Black beauty industry when you go to the salons. So it focuses on beauty schools and booth renters and Black manufacturers. So we built a product basically to help streamline the process between manufacturers, booth renters, and some of the services they provide and streamline some of the issues out of it. So it's the first of its kind and doesn't exist really. So we're super excited about the opportunity to talk to you guys in more detail. I don't want to get too tough in functionality, but I used to work in the beauty industry. I worked for a Black brokerage company that serviced Soft Sheen. Remember Soft Sheen?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Soft Sheen hair products, right? So I worked for the biggest Black hair distributor in America when I was younger. It was called FML Manufacturers. So when I was going in these salons, I was seeing all these exact same problems. People going to the salons, making appointments and waiting. So you make a 10 o'clock appointment and then you wait another 40 minutes to get your hair done. And then also the distributors were coming in like me to talk to the hairstylist while they were doing your hair. It was so unprofessional, but it was just the way business was done. So conceptually, I went back to school. I graduated from Tuskegee. I went back to school to get my master's in information and technology. And I just had this venture that I was going to build an app to get rid of a lot of those issues, running late, overbooking, and manufacturing. Most beauty apps out there, they do scheduling. Our software does scheduling, don't get me wrong, but it's built around educating stylists and barbers and beauty schools about the business of the health beauty industry. And a lot of the Black dollar is still in the beauty industry. So we want to become like basically a huge gateway and bridge between the Black dollar and keep it in our community longer. And we can do that if people support our products and our services, and we can keep it in our industry longer by referring other services like the way we have now. We have financial services, we have taxes, we have healthcare references, all types of things in our software. So we sought out an amazing opportunity to partner with people that were like-minded to invest in us. And then we ended up last year, just before COVID hit, we partnered with the biggest Black hair manufacturer still in the world, Luster Hair Care Products.
Speaking of COVID-19, how did you have to pivot the business? Because so many hairstylists and have gone out of business.
Okay, so COVID affected us more on the manufacturing side than the scheduling and beauty app side, because our software already had some functionality in it to go mobile. So, and then we also added a COVID section on how to open up safer. And we added John Hopkins map in there to tell people in real time what was going on with COVID. So we gave them some tools and some vetted tools, not Google tools, actual tools to basically begin a process on how they wanted to still conduct business. Maybe they don't want to have business in the same way. Maybe scheduling would help, masks, recommending certain types of masks. And we wanted to give them real-time information on it. So we pivoted kind of quickly because, to tell you the truth, I'm also an IT consultant with the government and some other things. I saw COVID coming quite early. So I built it around that it was going to change the industry in a lot of ways. But it really affected us more in manufacturing, like getting products and stuff like that to our distributors. But since it's a application and it's virtual, it didn't really totally mess us up. It really messed up our sponsorships events we wanted to have. We were shooting a television commercial We're going to do it this year. We didn't get to do it last year, stuff like that.
Fill in the blanks. Thank you, COVID, because.
Thank you, COVID, because our users went up because everybody had to start looking for beauty apps.
And talk about actually bringing an app to the market.
Wow, this is one of my favorite topics. All right. How about bringing an app to the market and being an African American in the tech industry, where you're not going to get that seed $1 million, $100,000 funding all the time? Pretty pervasive in some places. But I built a Can You Fit Me In twice. So this is the first time I built it, mobile apps weren't the thing, actually. Websites were, and mobile websites weren't the thing. So when I built it, the first version, I had to basically go back to my investors and tell them, we got an application, it's a website, but it's not going to work for the future. So what I ended up doing was I took on some more investors. I took on more women investors, actually, and partners. And we brought them into the company, and they helped me build the most beautiful app. Because as a male, we kind of like functionality, but we listened to them. Me and my partner team, we listened to them, and we started learning like just the subtleties of the issues between not just barbers and stylists, but we built a focus around the client customer side as well. So in our model, it was most softwares are built for the user, just the user. Our side is built for both sides because the customer has issues too. So who says you got to have one stylist? I mean, what rule is that? That's just like a historical thing. You have one stylist and they know how to do my hair, a barber, or what have you. So we built around a concept of what's called a kind of like a pitch and catch process, where we built something called a cascading schedule, which allows you to make an appointment. And if your barber stylist is not available, it'll recommend somebody else. And you can save them. You may just need a line, or you might need a wash and press, but it'll recommend somebody else in the area, right? And it's got stars and ratings. You can see their work in that thing. But bringing it to the market, I had a huge problem with capitalization, and I put a lot of my money in it, family members. You have what's seed round funding, which is basically friends and family. Once you get past that round, you have testing, and you have to get people to understand your vision. And to be honest, Black women understood my vision. They're the ones who are like, yeah, this is a problem. We want to get involved in it. We want to help you with it. And my first investor outside of my family was a Black woman that I didn't even know. I didn't meet in person. We did it all online. I was pitching in California and all kind of places. And all I had was a piece of paper and just the graphics and a pitch deck and those things. And she invested in it, and I was just so grateful. So about time we rebuilt it and got it to market, I had proof of concept. And a lot of young people that want to build applications, I could tell you this, I made a crucial mistake in just building the application without doing something that I learned later. And I can suggest something that you do. Maybe it would have been further than an interview, but I want to say it now. That when you build your application, don't get so caught up in the technical piece. You don't have to be an IT expert like me or anything like that. You have to solve a problem. And if you're going to solve a problem, you need a team to solve a problem. You don't have to be the know-it-all, and you don't have to worry about somebody stealing your idea. You don't have to put out pervasive, non-constant NDAs and stuff. What you need is to build a crowd around your problem. And if you create that crowd, they'll be looking forward to come to market, right? I spent so much time on perfecting the application, which it's constantly being perfected. It's not perfect at all, because it's remodeling a way that people are already using current applications. People don't like to change them, but building that crowd, really, I would suggest you build that early, and then you join maybe a tech incubator. That would be good. If you join a tech, or if you're not going to do a tech, join a business incubator and get that expert experience to help you move forward in building it. And another thing, capitalization normally is like the biggest thing, right? So people are like, oh, how much does it cost to build an app? Well, it depends on what you wanted to do and all these type of things. Well, when you're building that crowd, when you're taking on partnerships and you're giving away what I call sweat equity, or they call sweat equity, get you a founder a technical founder, partner. Try to find them, somebody interested in your idea. Maybe they'll help you. They don't necessarily have to be a coder. They need to understand technology. You can outsource the developer part and those things, and then you'll know if you're spending too much or what have you, if you're having issues with it. But you can do it. It takes a while. One of my board members tells me we're in the chasm. And she's excited about it. And I'm like, why are you so excited? She works for Boeing. She's like, why are you so excited? We're in the chasm. She said, because before we couldn't even see the pier, we couldn't even, this is so exciting because the market is constantly forming. And I go, yeah, you're right. And I really understand that sometimes it takes 10 years to be an overnight success.
Talking about success, how do you define success?
I would think success would be if you're fixing a problem and you finish what you start. I'm a big finisher of whatever I commit to start to. It doesn't matter what it is. Right now, I'm learning the violin and the guitar and learning how to sing. I'm self-investing in myself. I want to learn that, right? I could have done those things, but I didn't want to be in a band. I wanted to be in sport. But success is just, to me, finishing what you start. If you're not going to be consistent and finish what you start for yourself, how can people trust you to finish things for themselves? They cannot.
Bakari, talk about being an African-American male in the tech space.
I would say before I think before last year, I would be kind of like, it's really sometimes problematic. It's tough, but it's still kind of tough. But what I can say is, if you want to be an African-American male, if you are African-American male in the tech space, I suggest you partner with people that have same issues and problems like you. They don't necessarily, might often be African-Americans, but they have the same issues and problems, and you go at it as a team rather than just networking yourself to the top of pinnacle of success. In my experience, you have to diversify yourself. So some people say that jack of all trades is a master of none. Well, networking is that way. You need to network yourself into groups and opportunities that may not have anything to do with you. But if you're in technology, technology is in every space. So if you have something to add value to every space, you'll do quite well. It'll be hard as a consultant, it's up and down, but once you find your niches and your grooves, you can build things for yourself. And I would also say, build something for yourself. If you're solving problems, build you a business, something for yourself. It doesn't have to make $1 as long as it's not losing money, but build something for yourself, because if you're employed, that's going to end, but you're never going to fire yourself. So think about that. Take your time.
What can we do right now to support your app? Can You Fit Me In?
The first thing people can do is download it on Google and Android. It's on iOS and Android. It's one word, canyoufitmein.com. The second thing they can do is sign up as user and tell people about it and invite me out to talk about it. It is technically an application trying to educate beauty schools, but it's built around the concept of booth renters and regular customers. So anybody can use it. We have stylists and barbers using it. That's not an issue, and help it grow in certain areas. But I think the best thing somebody could do after they do all that is make suggestions to help us move forward. I like suggestions. And another thing they could do, don't compare us to the other applications out there. There's some popular ones. They go, oh, it's like this. Oh, it's like that. No, it's not like that. Just on board with us and trust us and check out ours a little. Because when you do this comparison right now, it's kind of like, is a Mercedes like an airplane? They both know. A Mercedes is really nice, but an airplane is a little different. We're more like an airplane because we're not just focused on scheduling. We're focusing on manufacturing, education, scheduling, and we're focused on also adding huge value to our community. We're looking for partners, like-minded people. So, because we don't want to do it all. We know that there are experts and organizations that do better. Luster is over 1,000 employees based out of Chicago. It's huge. People still use pink and silk and, a Luster Carefree Curl and stuff like that, a Luster Curl, but they still use those products, but they've rebranded and done a lot of great things. So I just want people to just say, hey, man, check it out, download it, give us advice, reach out to me. We're happy to talk about it. We do presentations. We'll do custom presentation to show you how to use. We have YouTube videos available to show you how to use the process. And it's a different way. In our process, you negotiate your with the stylist and the barber what style the price. Other softwares, they put the price in there. It's more realistic because when you show a stylist and a barber this style, they don't charge everybody the same because everybody doesn't get the same thing, right? So in ours, you're negotiating with the barber and the stylist what the price is going to be. So it's like totally different. You're not, and the manufacturers get appointments with you. They're not interrupting you. So it's different.
I want you to have a monologue and I want you to name this person, living or not. And this person has been so instrumental in your success or your life. Name that person and what are you saying to that person?
I would say thank you for believing in me when no one else did. Thank you for sacrificing countless hours, countless conversations, countless failures, countless disappointments. I probably will never be able to repay this person back in a full. I will financially be able to pay them back. But when you're starting out talking about, I think around 2018, I won't build a Black Beauty app. Nobody is like, those are not the apps to build social media apps and all these fun apps and people getting rich on these apps and stuff like that. So this person saw the opportunity. They put their sweat equity into it. They put their money into it. And I just love them to death. They can really do no wrong with me. And I just appreciate that. Support is really big with anybody, but for Black males, support is our love language. It is rare because we're expected to be superstars off the bat, or we're expected to cover everything, and corporate America doesn't necessarily want us. So we're expected to be like this thing, but the support is our love language. And that's a big deal. So I will say a countless thank yous and many more to come.
Absolutely. What problem exists in the world today that you would like to solve?
I really want to solve the way we monetize our dollar in the African American community. And this can be done because we're exploring crypto technology, metaverse technology. This isn't foreign to us per se, the way we think, but I want to take our spending power and monetize it. And it's a way to do that because, like I said, most of our wealth is still in the beauty industry and most of it's still cash. So we want to create a space and solve this problem of Black businesses not being professional. That is not true. We have plenty of Black professional businesses. What is different is Black professional businesses don't get the leeway when something goes wrong as opposed to white businesses and you're just used to doing it, using it. We don't get the flexibility. And of course, any professional nationality, regardless, could have unprofessionalism in it, right? So when you get on Southwest and you don't think it's that professional, you don't go, I'm not flying Southwest ever again. No, you don't. You get right back on there for them rates, and you complain to Southwest and they give you a free trip and you're all good. And I think that's big. I think that's the problem I want to solve. I want to solve our financial problem because that's leverage to getting economic agendas and political agendas and things that take care of us like every other nationality does in our country. People often say, why don't Blacks pool their resources together? And because we have a lot of spend, why don't we do that? Well, we weren't taught that. That's not what we were taught. We were brought here slaves. We were taught to do anything independently. And then we weren't really talking that. So we're learning ourselves, but I'm not a big excuse maker for your decisions. You have choices. You don't have to go out there and do raggedy things and get raggedy results and be surprised it's raggedy. You can invest in yourself. You don't have to go get the expensive education to decide that you're just going to start something for you that's going to benefit you and your people. That's a choice. I don't care if you're making T-shirts, which isn't anything wrong with that. Choices matter.
Advice you wish you had followed.
Years ago, I'm making this like I'm so old. I used to be a hotel executive, well-known hotel, Intercontinental on Michigan Avenue. I was operations manager there a long while. And I had an opportunity to go work for Pfizer. I went to the Black MBA conference and I had an opportunity to go work for Pfizer. And I was trying to go work for Coca-Cola. I had this job, and it was like Coca-Cola. I'm gonna move to Atlanta. I couldn't wait. I was like, man, I'm gonna go to Coca-Cola, man. Coke is it. So they was with it. And this guy comes, tells me, he asked me, he sees my Bluetooth, and he says, man, where you get that Bluetooth from? And I said, I got it from such and such. He said, you look real clean. You got your suit on. Where do you work? I told him or whatever. He said, you got a resume? I said, yeah. So I showed my resume. He said, where you want to work? I said, I want to live in Atlanta. He said, man, I work for Pfizer. You should come interview with us. You're perfect. You should check us out. And then I go, well, what do you do? He says, I'm in sales. I was like, oh, no, I don't want to do sales. I was like, I don't want to do sales. He said, no, you should come and check us out. I'm advising you to check this out. You shouldn't just go to one company. You got a lot of skills. You should check it out. So I was standing there with another friend of mine, and he followed the advice, and he went and checked it out. I didn't. That guy went and checked it out. He's like a vice president or director, district manager or something. But the product they were selling was Viagra. But he made millions of dollars. And I could just say, explore all your opportunities. Don't be set on one opportunity. He laughs at me to this day. I just say it wasn't meant for me to do that. But I just say my advice is explore all your opportunities. People, don't pass them up, because you never know. He could be advising you to, go hang out with Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan,
Why are you here?
I interpret it how I think now. I'm not normal. I interpreted why am I here in life. I was in a serious car accident years ago, and I was hurt. I had collapsed lungs and everything, and I lived through that. And I just decided God gives you signs. I'm not super religious, but I totally believe in God and know He's been there for me countless times. But I just know that I think I'm here to make a difference, because every time I try to steer away from doing something outside of my purview, like even with Can You Fit Me In, he pushes me right back into it. He pushes me at opportunities, right, like on time opportunities. Oh, it's not enough capital. Nobody's in, oh, hey, we got some opportunities for you for some money, or I need an expert in this space to do these things. He just is not always there when you call, but always on time. So I think I'm here to honestly help young Black tech entrepreneurs fulfill their dreams. And also I'm here to help us realize our actual power. Our power is so massive because we're willing to go into debt for brands and people and that we don't even know. So let's start going into debt. And if we're going to do that, spend it on ourselves and start investing in our things. I think sometimes people mistake our products for boutique-ish. A movie I like, The Black Panther. Some people don't like it, but I love The Black Panther because it showed our potential at what I thought at the highest level, by also putting some of our old values into it, system of community and helping each other. That matters still to me. So I think I'm here to basically not only lead, but listen. I have to listen. I learned how to listen a long time ago. I don't want to know it all. I don't need to be it all. I don't need to be getting all the credit. My team wants me to be out here talking more. So I'm out here talking more. And I'm listening. Like, if you don't talk, who's going to talk? Me? So I need that. So I would just ask people to speak up and help us help you.
The word is listening. What is that resounding sound or message that your generation is saying that we should be listening to?
Well, I have a model, and my model is what I hear most of the time. Sometimes the longest lie we'll ever tell is the one we tell ourselves. That's my model. So if you're lying to yourself all the time, you're not going to be able to hear any opportunities. You're not going to be able to hear any type of things that will benefit not just you, but benefit just your total balance in life. I'm not a big liar to myself. I know that I could do better. I know that I started working out and swimming. I know I could do these things. Those are health things. But when it comes to business is not all fair, not at all. It's very uneven and it's very, very hard. But if you're not going to lie to yourself, be honest with yourself. There's nothing wrong if you're just a worker ant. You take a job and you're a worker ant. Does not mean you can't invest in other people that are business minded and have opportunities and benefit from their work. Does not mean that. Doesn't mean that at all. Also doesn't mean that if you are an entrepreneur, you're a serial entrepreneur, that you have to stick with this failing idea that may have passed you by. You know, the market may have passed you by. Be conscious. It's okay to restart, reinvent, redo it. That 10 years to be an overnight success, I heard that on CNBC. I don't think he coined it, but I heard it from the gentleman that started Snapchat. And I'm big, and with these social media, they're pretty much all the same to me. You can talk longer or shorter, but I mean, it's really a lot. It's the crowd moving. But at the same time, we have an opportunity to get real-time feedback and do better. And we have a collective, what I call a collective voice. And you're sharing in that collective voice in social media and opportunity. So tap in and listen and ask your questions and occasionally make a point.
There are so many brands and businesses that are dominating. Talk about a brand or a business that's dominating that you admire and why.
I think this would be more relevant to what we're in right now. I was an early investor in Moderna Vaccine. And I was an early investor because a sister in the government perfected the vaccine. I saw her on TV, and by me being a Black man, when I was sitting there looking at her interview, this is true. I was sitting there in her interview, and I knew she had developed this vaccine, but the vaccine with the government was no way to invest in it because it was part of the government. So when I saw that the government had outsourced to make some vaccine to Moderna, I said, that's their sister's vaccine. I know it in my heart. And I went back and looked at the video, and I was just like giving up on investing. And she popped up on TV when I walked past the television talking about the vaccine. She didn't say anything about Moderna. She just popped up on TV. Now, by me being in trouble with Black women my entire life, I knew, when a Black woman got you, she know the answer. And I knew she knew the answer when I sat there. So I went out and told everybody, invest in Moderna. I started buying it up. I bought it up so low. So I was telling everybody. So that's when I knew at that moment, like, okay, wow, I got something special here. So that industry, that company, I admire Moderna for the mRNA technology, pretty much, and the things they're focused on in cancer and research in the future. See, people don't understand around the world, there's always viruses and things like that. If you don't travel outside the United States, these things are kind of common. Like if you go to China, they wear masks in general. I don't think they have an EPA. But this concept I'm trying to relay is that we're kind of spoiled. We live in this safety net, and we have a lot of choice in this safety net. And the reality is the new normal might be to appoint this. We can defeat it if people choose to deal with vaccines or a little more. We're not going to defeat it. We're going to learn to live with it. I don't think we have cures for all viruses or anything. But my point being is there's an opportunity here for companies like pharmaceutical companies and these type of companies. They have poor relationships with the communities because Black people are very skeptical of the health system because we haven't been treated right. So there's opportunities for companies like Moderna and other biotech companies to stop just hoarding the profits and start getting into the real issues that they're making profits out of. They're making profits out of hypertension, diabetes, and all these things. And they're making these profits, these pharmaceutical companies. I'm not going to say necessarily Moderna, but these pharma companies. There's an opportunity here to invest in the things that will help us get better, which will make them great, because that trust comes with the dialogue. But I do admire how they are working on cancer research and those new projects in their mRNA technology, how it's going to be I think it's transformative, to tell you the truth.
Talk about your most memorable moment in life or business.
My most memorable moment in life probably was when I decided to go back to grad school. I never was the greatest student outside of my major. Going to Tuskegee University, I'll tell you people, if you go to Tuskegee and you get out, you're probably a genius. It's really hard. It's not this get along kind of thing. We actually studied classroom where the slaves were with no AC. Like, okay, and now we were just doing reading. So I still have all my ski friends to this day. And I had an opportunity to go to grad school. And I was just like, I'm done with school. I want to go straight in the hospitality industry. I don't need it for my major and blah, blah. But I think it was the most courageous thing I had ever done, because I always had this knack for tech, but I never really explored it. And to go and to get a master's in it, like, really? So that's so I ended up going, and I went virtual. I went to Capella virtual. Now Capella is huge, Now Capella is like everybody's going to, but when I went, it wasn't as huge, and just the courageousness to go back into a profession in a field, to invest in myself and do that, because I could have done a lot of jobs, but I had a lot of knowledge. I didn't have the wisdom. And I'll say this, like, a lot of people don't know this. When you go into education, just like you got a doctorate, your mind grows from that degree, because you're dealing with your peers and you're challenging yourself all the time. You're writing papers all the time. You rewrite theses. You constantly do it. So it's a big gap. I'm not telling everybody to go to college. I don't think it's for everybody, but I do believe that it was transformative for me in my career, because it allowed me to act on my dreams rather than just trust somebody else and pay the money to do them. So I thought that was probably the most transformative thing in my life. And maybe starting music is the second thing.
What was that aha moment that you knew that your business was going to be successful?
To be honest, it wasn't early. It was just some years ago, before COVID, when I had made a decision that I was going to try to partner with the biggest Black hair company in America. I didn't know anybody in that company. They'll tell you. I didn't know anybody in that company. And I networked my way into that company through ideas and concepts. And the best part of it was we spoke the same language. So I didn't have to teach them about the Black beauty industry and the potential that lies before us. You not too long ago had the CEO of Design Essentials on your show. Yeah, I want to talk to him too. I've been looking for him. So if you talk to him again, tell him I'm looking for him, because he needs to talk to me. But I networked myself into that company because there's a lot of opportunities in there. And that's when I knew, because they presented it in front of their entire team. We presented it in front of two teams, the international division. They have an international and their executives on the other side. And they didn't say no. I was just like, wow. I think that's when I knew that we had done the right thing. Pat, when you have people work with you, they want it to be successful, but that's kind of different. Validation in the market comes a couple ways. Sometimes validation is financial, and then sometimes validation is just one user. One user could validate your proof of concept, and you want to get more and get better, but one user. I think that was my aha moment. But we built it so far in the future, the market is kind of like not really even there yet, because we were just solving a host of issues that are systemic in the industry for booth renters and manufacturers and beauty schools.
Talk about an event in your life that you would redo and why.
I had an opportunity to travel to Thailand and work in Thailand. Now, who wants to go work in Thailand? Well, I don't know, but I had an opportunity to go work with the government over there, work in the government and consult a project in Thailand. And I think I would redo it because I didn't go not because of money. I didn't go because the opportunity. I didn't go because, to be honest, Barack Obama had just became president, and I'm from Chicago, and I was so fired up about him. I didn't want to leave the U.S. I just love seeing him roll through Hyde Park. My mother knows Michelle. I just was so overwhelmed that I think I should have gone and done that job and learned and done the things. There was opportunities there. And remember, I said, take your opportunities. And I regret not taking the opportunities, because I could have benefited hugely from going over there. There are some amazing developers there, culture in itself. And I think I should have taken that advantage. Obama would have been there, and he's not thinking about me.
Blame it on Obama.
That's the way. It's all on the prayers. He got me too fired up, and I'm a big Bears fan, so I didn't want to go.
How do you feel about who you have become, Bakari?
I think older me and younger me are very much similar, but I'm wiser, of course, because I'm older. But I've never been this wild cat, like clubbing, acting up. All my friends are way older than me, to tell you the truth. All my best friends, all my colleagues are way older than me. And I think that I'm more patient. I'm definitely more patient. I've never been an impatient person, but I'm super patient. Like patience to me has yielded me the best response rather than, road rage, get out the box kind of thinking. I'm also more decisive in my decision making. So when I make a decision, I'm decisive about it. I know it cannot be the best way because I understand choices. Sometimes some are wrong or right, but it depends on the moment. They may be right for you. I'm also not as dismissive as I was, or because sometimes you get this air of like, I've heard CEOs talk about like the baseline things that they do to be with their people and those type of things and along those things. It's kind of hard to even understand. I'm not a billionaire, so I don't think a billionaire CEO is different from a hundred-year or 1,000-year CEO in certain ways, right? They just have more resources. But what I do think is different is your time management. How do you manage your time? See, now my time is just priceless to me. And when you start doing things, it's more priceless. So you try to surround yourselves with people that value your time. Now, a lot of people, even your old friends, will waste your time if you let them waste your time, right? But since I'm more decisive about situations, I'm not judging you because you haven't committed to, your master plan or your life plan. I'm not judging your body of work, to tell you the truth. I'm not a big judger. All I'm saying is that you have choices and your time matters. So if you're going to invest your time, think about what do you want to get accomplished and set those goals. I do what I say I'm going to do. So if I stay along that path, I don't have to be a know-it-all and all those things, right? I just know more about this than you in this particular space. I'm going to stick to that. I know that I know more about this thing than you, but I can also be persuaded with a positive point of view. I can. So I know that's who I am now. I'm clear, as my dad would say. And I still struggle every day. Don't get me wrong. It's a struggle, but I'm not worried about the ending because I'm on the right path.
If you conducted this interview, what is the one question you would have asked yourself? I want you to ask the question and answer it.
I would say, when is your next IT project going to be started, Bakari? We have a major IT project that we want to start. We started it, but we need to get back to it. And it is in an entirely different industry. Now, when is it going to start? It's going to start at the end of this October. I'm going to get it started, and we're going to finish it. we start laying out the framework, we start building, and we got derailed. But it is in a space that no one's thinking about, no one cares about, but it is truly transformative. So that's about it. I wish I could say, oh yeah, I'm writing this new book or I got an album coming out. I don't, I'm looking to make everybody's lives easier. And we're looking into automation for some things. So that matters. But that's pretty much it. I think that's it. And my team knows what we're talking about. So we'll just keep it going.
Talk about mental health and managing your business.
I do believe that you need me time. That's why I started, I used to play all the time. I started swimming. I went to a back doctor. I had a little sore back, and she suggested that I do yoga. I was like, no, I'm not a yoga dude. And she said, well, how about swimming? And I used to swim when I was younger. So I started swimming. My parents swim, and I started swimming, and it just helped me tremendously. Because you got to work every part of your body. And I'm all in. Like, I'm playing music underwater. I'm all in. I'm 90 days in swimming. And for my mental health, I've always been able to handle, to be honest, to handle huge levels of stress. But I think I'm more compassionate about people that have issues with dealing with stress and taking care of your mental health, just presenting a better you matters. Sometimes it's not going to be convenient for your business. But if you build your business properly, there's always going to be moments in there for you to take time for yourself. My business is a child, it can't live without me. But you know what? Even a parent needs days off. A parent needs opportunity. And that's where your team comes in and support. I truly do believe that it matters. Now, what we have to get around is how do we create programs and things around that? When I used to work in the hotel industry, we were owned by a Japanese company, and they conceptually back then believed in mental health and products. It was weird because they believed this conceptually. They believed that we hired you. So if there's something wrong with you, you're telling that our process was wrong. We don't believe our process is wrong because we hired you. So they would reinvest in you, let you take time out, let you get the things right done to help you get better, just so they could be right in the end, right? Because their process was supposed to be proven. So that was more like they believed in that concept. And I do believe that companies should allow those type things. And some companies need to create processes where some things aren't for everybody, but they shouldn't be dismissive of them. The workforce now is not the workforce from when I was coming up. They are not going to do jobs just to get a check. They will Uber, Lyft, food delivery, do whatever, cat. They will do all these, what I call gig jobs, to make up a one check before they go sit down at a desk all day and be unhappy. Companies need to adapt to flexible virtual working environments. I say flex work. Sometimes you go in, sometimes you don't. That's really good. Well, full virtualization is up to if you have a workforce that can handle it, which a lot have proven they have. But we don't need these skyscrapers just to go in there and sit and look at each other and feel good all day and show off our newest outfit. That is old. And they're not doing it. So I don't know what they figured out. Get rid of those skyscrapers and that rent and pay people more money.
Bakari, we come to the part of our program. It's called Rapid Round of Fun. I'm going to give you some questions. I want you to give me very quick answers. If there's something you desire not to answer, feel free to say pass. Are you ready for the rapid round of fun?
Sure.
Your favorite color?
Gray.
Your favorite holiday?
New Year's.
Your ideal car?
Lincoln.
The last movie you saw?
Boba Fett.
Your first job?
Berlin and Co Factory.
You relax doing what?
Watching movies.
Your favorite singer or rapper?
My favorite singer or rapper, probably Jay-Z. My favorite singer probably would be Michael Jackson.
Your favorite dance song?
Probably it's a Michael Jackson song. Remember the Time. Yeah, that's it.
What food you eat every week, no matter what?
Chicken.
Your favorite month?
My favorite month is July.
Work out or hit the couch?
I work out, swimming.
Bakari Finley, thank you so much for joining us on Black Entrepreneur Experience Podcast. Before we let you go, why don't you share with our audience the best way to connect with you and to do business with you? And feel free to leave all your social media handles.
Sure. The best, fastest way to connect with me personally is just go to LinkedIn, type in my name, and you'll probably catch me. That's pretty much the only social media that I do respond in kind of regularly. Or you can go to our website and you can email us or call, and then someone will get back to you, or maybe I'll get back to you, canyoufitmein.com. So you never really know. But if you want to get me, LinkedIn is probably the fastest way to get in touch with me, or do business with us, or make suggestions. It's real simple.
Thank you, Bakari. That's a wrap.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for listening and subscribing to Black Entrepreneur Experience. We would love for you to leave a review and rating on iTunes and share with your friends. For show notes and more episodes, go to www.beepodcast.com. Join us next Wednesday, and remember, green is the new black. So keep your bank accounts and your business in the black.